Hello, my name's John Thorne. I own the Silverstone Shooting Centre, and welcome to this next episode of Target Shooting. Hello, welcome back to Target Shooting. This time I'm going a bit more technical this time. I'm going to start talking some of the bits and some of the things we actually start to shoot with. Now, last program we did Galley rifle, we had iron sights, which are basically bits of metal stuck on the frame. Now we're going a bit more technical. Now we're going to start shooting what we call a red dot. Now red dot, this is a red dot. This one's made by Aimpoint, which is pretty much the Rolls Royce of red dots. Essentially it's not like a laser which points on the target that you see in Hollywood. It's actually a dot that sits in front of your eye where you're looking at a target. Now, I'm not sure you can see this, etc. I'll pop them open and have a little look. If you look down there, you should be able to see a little dot that sits in front. Now, the idea with red dot shooting is that what you do is you don't look at the dot, you look at the target. The dot will literally sit in front of your eyes and you'll literally blur it out. Because how the human brain works is with bifocal vision, you look through what you're looking at in terms of target, looking at it. Now, the good thing about this in terms of red dots, which the shotgun shooters like, is you tend to shoot red dots with both eyes open. You don't squint and shut one eye. You can shoot them one eye open, one eye shut, but generally speaking, the idea about red dots is about fast target acquisition. With both eyes open, you can actually pick up targets much quicker. If you want to get an idea, it's about peripheral vision. So if you sit there at home and then put your thumbs out and then see how far you've got to bring your arms round before you start to see your thumb. Okay, that's your peripheral vision. You shut one eye, you'll find you can't see about 40% of what you can see before. So when you're shooting for target acquisition, which for practical shooting, different kinds of moving targets, for example, red dots work really well. They're not so good above 50-60 meters because you need to start to get magnification. All red dots are unmagnified unless you add a magnifier to it. But like I said, in target shooting you can very much technically go beyond all the Candice, and I'm trying to keep it simple. So what I'm going to shoot today is I'm going to shoot a Smith & Wesson. It's a 15-22 semi-automatic rifle, which we tend to shoot for things like practical shooting, where we tend to shoot red dots as well. I've got a Aimpoint red dot fitted onto it now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of rounds into target at 10 meters. I'm sitting down to make sure I get as accurate as possible. What I'm trying to do here is zero the sight. So I'm trying to make sure I get the red dot exactly where I want to be on the target itself. If I'm standing up, etc., it brings more of my accuracy into play. What I'm trying to do is keep it nice and simple and straightforward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of rounds in, and then I'm going to adjust the sight and see to bring my point of impact directly where I want the dot to go. Okay, as usual, these things, eyes and ears on, gun's obviously empty at the moment, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 rounds in the target and see where they fall, and then adjust accordingly. So we can see from there I'm literally about inch too low, 1.5 inches maybe. So what we do on these sights is that there's, as you can see, I've unloaded it again. There are 2 forms of adjustment. They're both covered with little screws. So if I undo these now, actually I'll show you once here, it's easier. Same sight, got one little screw at the side here and one at the top. And what we have is with the cap that comes with the Aimpoint dot, we put it in and we adjust where the dot is going. Top one is for elevation. So for example, I can see from my shots there that my windage, my side to side position, is actually pretty good. It's pretty much in line with the target. But my elevation, which is the up and down, I'm shooting too low. So what I need to do is adjust this cap, which comes complete, its own little cap in here, at 10 meters, about 4 clicks higher up. So what I'll do is I'll do that on this one. And then we'll adjust it, and then we'll fire 3 shots in. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4 clicks. And what we'll try now is try and put 3 shots in and see where it goes on target now. Now, generally you always shoot 3 shots in groupings. I shot 2 in this example just to see where the round is going, because we know it's not zero properly. When it comes to zeroing rifles, I'm going to cover that later on, you tend to shoot groups of 3. Ideally, because a group of 3 will give you an idea of where your point of impact is going to be. And again, we'll cover some of this later on. The idea with a group of 1 of 2, I can have one shot, could be where I get another one. A group of 3 will give me a triangulation point that I can identify where the point of impact is, and therefore move accordingly. Okay, so we've made adjustment on windage. We're fine we're on elevation. We're fine on windage. Let's put 3 more rounds in and see what happens to it. All right. As again, eyes and ears on. Well, I put 4 into that and 1 didn't go off very well. But as we can see in target, pretty happy with that. All straight in the bullet 10 metres. Now you tend to zero red dots depending what distance you're going to shoot. This is primarily used for training rifle here, so we tend to allow people to shoot at 10 metres, 25 and 50 metres. So when you're having a holdover type process where you're adjusting your aim for different distances, you'll then obviously adjust accordingly. So with the example at 10 metres, I'm fine with that being all dead in the centre. And then if you do zero again for 25 metres, we repeat the process again. Or we use called holdover. For example, at 10 metres, where I'm smacking the centre of the target like that, I would tend to aim up maybe quarter of an inch, 25 metres, and again about an inch and a bit at 50 metres. It's called holdover. We'll cover it again when we start doing zero rifles. But for the purposes of red dots, etc., very, very useful little sight. All kinds of things, from gallery rifle to practical to moving target shooting. Great little bit of kit. We tend to recommend the aim points because frankly they're bulletproof. You know, to get these dirty, big deal. The idea of washing these things, you chuck it in a bucket of water. When we do the training of these things, you throw them in the air and jump on them. They're that bulletproof. Not literally, probably, but but we recommend these ones for sure. Thank you for watching this one. Hope you learned something from this one again. Again, look at the end of a few bloopers. I'm sure I got a few things wrong this time around. Thanks for watching once again. Okay, cheers.
Yeah,
Come on, be professional, for sake. Right, blah 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 blah. Ooh, action! Shut up, you.
most of this is bloopers.
Yeah, I know. The first one, a lot of swearing in, didn't it? Hate gallery rifle.